No one can beat the power of my Beyblade.
Thought you could take my name, but you forgot about my home game. Thought you could take me down, so forgot about my here we go. Thought you could take my down, but so forgot about my old school. If you wanna teach me something new, you better teach yourself up. Yeah. Thought you could take my name, but you forgot about my home game. Thought you could take me down, sucker, take me down, so here we go. Thought you could take my cool, but you forgot about my old school. If you wanna teach me something new, you better teach yourself to swing down, swing low. If you wanna play the game, swing down, swing low. Let it rip, Beyblade. Swing down, swing low. If you wanna play the game, swing down, swing low. Let it rip, Beyblade.
What's up guys, it's Project back with another strong build for you to toy with. Axe has always been a Oonga Boonga weapon, but one of its most fun skills, Mad Spinner, turns you into a living Beyblade, mowing down enemies with ease and tanking all hits. So pretty fitting for the build to be called Beyblade, and is probably the best co-op build in the game. Once you spin to win and the spin really starts going, no attack can phase you due to its infinite hyper armor. Combine that with the sustained damage and you got a skill that is potentially the strongest DPS skill in the game that can't be interrupted, unlike Water Sword or Reaper, and you can even move around relatively freely with it as well. But the cost of this is huge key drain. So this build sacrifices some damage for you to sustain the spin longer for a more fluid playstyle. You can't infinitely spin, as I tried with as many key reduction skills as possible, and the damage loss wasn't worth it, but you definitely can spin for a good 6 to 8 seconds. Before I begin with the main build, here's a beginner build for your first playthrough, or before you can get Yasakani. 5-piece Kentaro and 2-piece Vicissitudes can all be gotten around Region 3. 5-piece Kentaro gives you the battle focus duration, and Vicissitudes gives you 5% skill key reduction. The longer you spin, the more DPS you technically have, so should be a solid build for you to use and is light enough to wear without too much stamina investment. Just make sure your chest piece is Vicissitudes for the lighter weight. But the final Beyblade is this Dranzer. 3 Kentaro, 2 Fanatic, and 2 Red Demon. Battle Focus is an axe buff that reduces ki when attacking and is the main sustain Mad Spinner needs to actually be OP. So I favor Kentaro over something like Master Swordsman's 2-piece for extra 10% ki reduct. If you do go 2-piece Master Swordsman, you have to use a rando axe, so you won't gain any actual benefit from the one less piece used. And the Rage buff clashes with Battle Focus, so you don't want both of them. Die Hard is because I use Raging Strike to make up the damage for bosses, putting you into critical for the ki reduct and damage. However, if you don't like the risk of raging, then you can just sub out Die Hard for Master Swordsman instead. But yeah, you'd be losing a lot of damage for bosses if you do go that route, so up to you. Weapon is Kentaro's axe, copy the stats you see here. You want both ki reductions, which is another reason to go critical with Die Hard, and remodel to AA in courage and stamina with attack boost, courage, or stam. Battle focus duration is also a must. Second weapon is Red Demon Spear for the set bonus, and the ranged weapons should be obvious by now, agility A being most important. I use Hina Rifle for luck when critical, which again is another reason to go critical. Armor. You want Kentaro chest and waist for max defense, and Red Demon on gloves, so you save yourself from having to max out and transfer 5 Mad Spinner inheritables, and instead just need 4 cause lightweight gloves are the only ones that can roll skill damage naturally. And the rest is standard by now, Mad Spinner and attack gold inheritables on everything. life recovery on chest, and running speed and purple effects on waist and boots. Try to get some ki on helm as well. The more ki you have, the longer you can spin. Accessories, typical poison damage, cause why not? And Toshi's Abacus for movement speed buff after killing enemies. And you want ki on both as well, with life recovery on the Yasakane. Statty stats, 99 courage and stamina for max deeps, alongside a big investment into heart, as heart gives the most overall ki for more spinning sustain. You could even sacrifice some stamina for max 99 heart if you wanted. Max level 30 cap for magic cause buffs galore, you know how we do on here, and then summon to the constitution for more thickness. All clips shown were with level sync off, which I'll be going with from now on. I didn't notice any difference between sync and no sync in the last two regions. I still got 160 plus 4s and even got a 170 or 2, so kinda found it pointless to have sync on. But with it on, it'll only take like 1 to 2 more spins to kill a boss, so virtually no difference performance wise. It still melts in seconds at max output. But just letting you know now, from here on forward, no more sync. Spirits!
Oof. Man, when are you gonna get original, Plar? Come on!
Hey dude, sorry to say, but Tengen is just head and shoulders above the rest, alright? I tried Clifford, I tried Two-Headed Thunderduck, and neither were worth it over the sheer damage Tengen brought, and you actually save ki cause you killed quicker. For cores, it's pretty standard too. Snake and Magatsu for damage and then Grandma for the mega boost damage before bosses in full stages, which is a better damage boost than Axe Rage buff, hence you don't need Axe Rage buff. Now there's also Kasha, which is also a Beyblade as well, however, she kinda doesn't do anything for the build because you simply kill too quickly with Mad Spinner. I would more recommend Enki or Waira to dodge an attack when you're in critical or Kasha. The snake is just for poison damage whenever you apply it, but it's just for max deeps showcase. I'll probably change it to Enki or Waira for actual utility. Do use your burst counters to stop spinning instead of just letting it go to 0 ki though. It'll restore your ki back up faster and allows you to change direction better than just slowly circling around. Clan! Now this is where I change it up. No more Honda. Instead I go Tachibana for the big juicy 18% ki reduction when ailed, which is pretty much whenever you use Carnage or Battle Focus, which is always. I tried the crit damage clan, I tried Saito, but honestly the build played much better with ki reduction, so I went back to Tachibana. Since most of you guys have used Honda for weeks now, if you do switch to Tachibana, you should be an Elder right away to gain the clan's max stats immediately. I think it's pretty essential for Spin to Win specifically, and if you want an excuse to not use Honda, now's your chance. You can look at it like 18% more damage with Tachibana versus Honda's 28%, which that 28% isn't true 28% damage increase because of the way damage is calculated, but the ki reduction actually equals more raw hits, which is more damage. The alternative to Tachibana is Gamo. It isn't relevant to most bosses since you kill them before you can even get the full boost from consecutive attacks, which is at like 7 hits. But it's not bad for normal levels with multiple enemies where you can somewhat upkeep and refresh the buff. And the 45 luck boost is nice over Honda, but up to you. Tachibana, Gamo, or Honka. Skills: Reckless Beyblade on high stance and Raging on mid stance. Raging is exclusively for bosses. Protection Talisman will usually keep you alive just enough to kill them before it breaks. Reckless on high stance gains you 10% more damage and refreshes the Tengen attack buff for normal levels or co-op so you can get a nice damage boost permanently. And you can't keep pulsed anyways, so the downside is irrelevant. For humans though, I recommend just using Reckless high stance. Get Battle Focus ASAP, which you'll use every time for bosses or big clusters of enemies. The ki reduction is insane on it. You want all the critical and key nodes in Axe Tree, since you're not really going to play around with other axe skills, aside maybe normal high stance strong attack when you want to kill a small enemy quickly. Mystic Art is Inner Light. I run Barrier Talisman for the build for normal play, but you don't want to use it for bosses like Ryumin, so you can gain the damage boost from Inner Light when attacking on a yokai realm. And that's about it. Again, get all the passives you can. Ninjutsu's kind of whatever, one quick change and then Poison Junk for poison damage boost. I mostly just use Gano Broth now, other than Poison Shurikens for Atake. Everything else dies faster with just attacking rather than setting it up. Nioh, also typical by now, I like 2 times protection, one for a normal stage and then another for the boss to safeguard you from Raging Strike. No weakness talisman this time because it just slows you down. Carnage, Extraction, Barrier. Again, only use Barrier on normal levels, but not for yokai bosses which create puddles for inner light damage boosts. And then Awakening Mystic Art for faster casting, which literally takes 5 seconds to cast your stuff, so stop complaining about buffing. And now you've officially become a Beyblade, so let it rip! Honestly though, this thing is OP. Like Snowman, it just powers through everything without any weakness at all, and all you do is hold a button. A very fun button to become a dangerous Beyblade to carve out Japan with, dismembering all in your wake. And if you can get a group of 3 in co-op, all Beyblading, oh baby. So yeah, give the build a whirl. Considering the footage is without Hana Clan, I think he kills even faster than Movement Snow. It's just too bad movement speed doesn't affect you when spinning, cause otherwise this would truly be the next living weapon equivalent for this game. The next video will be different. I think build videos are kinda waning now. We know more or less the best setups by now, and everything else is just trying to be unique for sake of uniqueness, but suffering in actual output or is too slow a setup to be worth it. I think this and Snowman are probably the best co-op builds. They're tanky, hyper armor, and the damage is great. And this is me using Itakuri instead of Tengen as well in 3-player co-op, and with just me alone I'm melting the final boss. I actually think Spin to Win is actually stronger comparatively to other skills in this game due to the down-tunement of damage from Nioh 1. The multi-hitting attacks weren't nearly as heavily affected as the big one-shot moves that literally do less than half the damage they did in Nioh 1 base game compared to here. So these multi-hitting moves seem stronger in this game. So between Snowman and this, you kinda don't need any other builds. But what do you guys think of Spin to Win Axe? Let me know in the comments, rip that like button, join the channel maybe, and subscribe for more Beyblade epicness! Yeah! Let it rip!
Don't wait, show that you're not a zero.